Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are. This is Elma. I'm from CrawlQ, and today we are going to discuss together with Harish what is market positioning, and we are going to introduce you to CrawlQ AI and also our AI assistant Polaris, who is actually the expert, the AI assistant expert when it comes to market positioning. So here we go. And today so we're going to talk about that, and before we start or before Harry starts, I just like to make do mention about what is market research, why is it important, and in fact it's the foundation of good market positioning. Now, market research is $118 billion a year market, and it keeps on growing by at least 5% each year. Even during the COVID period, we still have a lot of market research going on. So this is the kind of industry that grows and grows and grows because big companies like to spend, or not like to spend, but want to get to know more insights about their customers. And how they do it is that they hire companies that specialize on doing market research. And then this market research data is given to the companies in raw format. And this raw format has to be analyzed by their in-house experts to turn them into insights, which they then give to the product development team or the marketing team, brand management, and so all the key stakeholders for that insights. Now, we at CrawlQ, we are doing these at an accelerated pace, which Harish will talk about as well. But this is something exciting for us marketers to have in our list of tools so that we can be better in doing our marketing role. So that's it for today. And thanks, Harish, for joining us. Let's start.
Thank you, Alma, for the great introduction and setting the right pitch for the market research. So I must say I'm really passionate mind behind CrawlQ AI, where we link the innovative vision and the technology together to redefine market research. And personally, I'm on a mission to leverage AI not just to predict market trends, but to decode the psychology, I must say psychology behind how customer make decisions. And obviously we have grand ambition. We really want to empower businesses like yours with deep actionable insights that can scale your growth exponentially. And being my role in a as a strategic product innovator, I bring you I bring this platform to you that serves as your personal market research assistant. It's your PA, like market research PA, that can capitalize on neuroscientific frameworks to advance analytics, to leverage multiple LLMs, data sources, and it builds your positioning to branding to persona in an integrated way. So today we are going to really talk about this in detail. In a moment, I'm going to share my screen. First 10-15 minutes, we will introduce the concepts, and then we will jump into the, the demo as well. So if you guys are ready to transform your data into profound competitive advantage, let's begin this journey together. Anything before I share my screen, Alma?
No questions so far from the audience, so I think we're good to go.
Okay, so let me share my screen and let me know if my screen appears.
Okay, so while waiting for, okay, so now we have the screen.
Okay, great. You want to mention something before we?
Um, uh, okay, actually, I want to mention that we have master classes like these every week until okay we have a lot of topics, and in fact, we cannot wait until we give all these deliver this content to all of you. So please keep on watching our videos every week, because you will learn about the core the core principles of marketing. And in fact, marketing stays the same. It's just that how we apply it, because now we have AI, it just makes us better as a marketer. And this is what CrawlQ is all about. We combine market research, we combine AI, so we have effective tools to develop products and to develop our marketing strategies.
Great, Alma. So let me then jump straight into today's agenda. So we are going to cover what is CrawlQ AI. Before we touch upon that, we will cover some fundamental problems that we have researched into the market, why we want to use this approach, how does it work, and we'll see how far we can go. But let me first give you this idea that based on our extensive research over the last 5 years, we see a traditional pitfall of persona, positioning, and branding strategy. So, we are going to look today in the common roadblocks businesses are facing with this traditional approach to create persona and positioning and then turning it into a branding strategy. What we have observed from our deep conversations within the market. And maybe Alma, if you mute your, then we don't hear your
Oh, sorry about that.
tapping. No worries. So in the spectrum, what we see that there's a complete inertia, incognito inertia. People are doing nothing about this danger. I call it the do nothing danger. In this inertia incognito, it's very clear that people are in a subtle trap of inaction. When businesses don't update their personas, they miss out on the evolving market dynamics. Just like a rusted gear, right? That won't turn into and that won't turn, and inaction can grind your growth to a halt. So we see an insight paralysis. There's a stagnant market. There's no clarity. They are still standing in a fast-paced market, and that it kind of invite to an imminent obsolescence if you stay in this trap. On the other hand, on the dimension, what we see the particular picture ploy, I call it partial picture ploy, and why I call it is because they are relying on a single approach to persona development. It's like trying to solve a puzzle with the missing pieces. They're making one small tool or one template, and it's a very solitary focus, neglecting the broader picture, the bigger picture, the intersecting factors that yield and this kind of approach really create an skewed strategies that misalign with the multifaceted customer realities. And there's another dimension where there is a little bit awareness about persona creation, about how to use this strategy, but I call it this stage of market as survey shackles. So they are having an illusion, or they have the illusory safe haven. They depend on narrow survey data that really constrict them, or they overlook the rich insights that is needed for nuanced agile positioning. So these are the three spectrum where people are doing nothing. They are in the do nothing danger zone. Then there's a partial picture ploy, and then there is another stage where people are in self illusion that they are doing enough. So they are in the shackles of these surveys and the outdated old methods of questionnaires, interviews, survey. But now it's really time to break from these outdated practices. And with CrawlQ, we are going to step into a new world, a new enthusiasm, a new idea where market positioning, persona development, and brand strategies, they are not seen three independent exercise of the market, but they are one single big picture exercise. And before I go into the next step, I must acknowledge, or Elma can confirm my these three our three research ideas, that either people are doing nothing, they are in the do nothing danger, or they are using a particular tool or one solitary focus, or they are in the self illusion or illusory safe haven. And before I started this webinar, Elma produced me some outstanding numbers, which says that based on the ESOMAR is a popular research group where we see 87% of the market research spending worldwide come from only large corporates. And I was I was shocked to learn that the medium and small enterprises are only contributing, or only 13% that contribute, and even within that, it's hard to find that their contribution to the market research or their budgets are really very, very small. Maybe you have one or two line, Elma, to add here about what you found in the ISOMAR and other studies.
All right. Yes. So for okay, what I found out through Ismore is that market research is 118 billion dollars market each year, and it 80 okay 87% is used by the large corporations. When I say large corporations, these are like the Procter and Gamble's, the Coca-Cola, Philips, who is already our client, by the way. We have Apple, we have Tesla. So these companies actually spend a lot of time and money on this research. um, in fact, I believe Coca-Cola is spending 4 billion a year, and
Hmm.
P&G is spending around 3 billion a year. These are in US dollars,
Right,
on market research. And these companies have dedicated teams in-house that interpret these data and turn them into insights. And then these insights are then turned into, for example, for me as a um okay, disclosure, I used to work in Procter and Gamble. That's why I know all of these. And
right,
in Procter and Gamble, I am on products research. So I am not
right,
even on market research, but and the data, when it comes to me, it's already analyzed by our market insights team. Now I moved on to the fragrance industry, so we still have a market research team, but then I became an entrepreneur, and that's when I did not have access to it, and I kept looking for the solution, and until I found CrawlQ. Hey, this is something that can do market research, and this is something that can help me in my business, because I know how important it is to get into the minds of my customers. I need to be able to know what they are thinking, what keeps them awake at night, what are their passions, what are their desires, because
right.
this is what will, yeah, so
And
that's
and
what we
and
do.
and Elma, my point was to bring this research idea was that what we did ourselves research, we can clearly see that 87% of the budget is already taken by those big firms which are highly successful. It makes complete sense, right? Why they are highly
Right.
successful. And the remaining 13% of the market, we see that they're stuck in this three zone. One, at the danger zone, they're doing nothing. The other one is they only use a solitary focus. They think that these persona positioning branding is separate exercises, and they do the checkbox, and that they are not really seeing it from holistic point of view. And some of these firms or even small businesses are under the illusion that they have sent some surveys, and that's their market research. So your research completely confirms this empirical finding that we see that most of the market is stuck in this three roadblocks when it comes to persona, positioning, and branding strategies. This makes sense, right?
Yes, it makes
Uh,
sense.
so the key here is, let's first clarify this persona, positioning, and branding paradox, because this is really important before we jump into, because these terminologies for some people is really confusing, and some of them see them different, some of them are able to link. But let's think about positioning. So positioning really defines how your product is the best in the world at delivering something that a well defined set of customers, and I repeat, your product is the best in the world at delivering something that a well defined set of customers care a lot about, right? These customers cares a lot about. It is about setting the context of your product in the market, helping customers understand what it is and why it is unique and why they should care. That's the key. So forget about the definitions or the things that you have. The key thing is here is the foundation, it's a starting point. And we must know that um, positioning is all about providing and setting the context of our product. Think of in terms of this visual representation. Think of that we have a map, and this map has various territories, and these territories, for now it was difficult to illustrate it, but let's say that these territories represent different market segments. Your product is placed in a specific territory, and that it can claim on its own that's a unique, that it meets the unique needs of your customers, and there is no competitor around it. So there is no competitor around it. It meets the unique need of your customer placed in this unique market segment. So this is the power of positioning. If we can nail down our positioning to the fact that we are placing our product in a unique market segment where no other competitors can touch that need of our unique customer, and this customer really care about us. So that's the positioning. I think that's the fundamental idea behind the positioning, and I call it a foundational pillar. Now, when it comes to, let's say, just give me. I think I skipped a couple of slides. Here. So when it comes to positioning, it's the foundation. Without it, no marketing strategy will work. Now, when it comes to persona, persona is a tool, and this tool represent a semi-fictional character based on your ideal customer. So think of that you have uniquely positioned your product in that specific market segment where no other competitor can claim or satisfy the same needs and desires of your customers. Once you know that, then comes this tool. Persona is a tool. Persona is a tool to represent that ideal customer with a fictitious character. And as a set of tool, it helps us to understand the behavior of our target audience, their goals, their pain points, and how they might interact with your product or services. So think of persona as a tool. And in this illustration, you can see that it's a customer avatar. It kind of include different can be a job title, goal, challenges, and we can go deeper and deeper with the persona creation. And that's where I will explain in detail how our strategy with CrawlQ is quite different, quite deep, quite agile while connecting these links. And when it comes to branding, branding is a process of creating a unique image and identity for your product or company. So, see, it's a process, persona is a tool, branding is a process, but positioning is a foundation. And with the right positioning goes the input to the persona tool and branding process. I think this should be very clear when we talk about persona, positioning, and branding. There are three interlinked exercise. They feed to each other, but starting foundation is positioning. If the positioning is correct, then our persona and branding is correct, and then they kind of intersect with each other and create a um, tsunami of effect for your market messaging, for everything that need to work around marketing, sales, product development. Is so this interlinkage or the cohesive working of these three is not only for marketing, it's for the entire company. It's for the both dimension, three dimensions: product development, service development, or your positions or your offers in the market, or your sales team or a marketing team. Without this working together, it's not possible to achieve the kind of results we want to achieve in the marketing or sales and the product development. Any remark, Alma, that you see here or sharing your experience? You're on mute.
I keep on forgetting I am on mute. So yeah, sharing my experience, I would say that branding, positioning, persona, these are really key. These market research, this is the foundation of anything sales and marketing related and product development related. That's what I could say. Yeah, that's about it.
Right, right. So let me sum it up. I will keep drawing from your experiences whenever I see an opportunity. But positioning is a strategic foundation that defines where your product fits in the market and how it is different from competitors. I think that's very clear. Persona is a tool that helps you understand and communicate with your target audience in a way that resonates with them based on your positioning. So I think again it's very clear. Now, branding is a process of expression or expressing of your company's personality, mission, vision, values, beliefs, which which must align with your positioning and appeal to a persona that you are targeting. I think this is really, really great context for our webinar today. If our audience are listening to us and they are here and they can understand these three difference and how they um, can see this as a big picture and connect back with what they are doing currently and what is possible with CrawlQ, then I think remainder of this webinar is an asset, is a gold. So let's go to the next steps. Now, what happens when we see this paradox, and as a result of this paradox, that people are not deliberately positioning themselves because they don't see this linkage. Many companies don't actively think about positioning at all. They assume there's only one way to position their product, often that is based on their original vision or founder's intent or someone in the team doing this exercise standalone. So without considering how the market or customer perceptions have evolved, it's very difficult. And I'm not going to go through all of them, but let's pick up some of them. Creating positioning as a marketing alone exercise is a big mistake. Confusing positioning with other concepts that we have seen about branding, messaging, tagline. Sometimes I hear people saying that I have changed the headline of my website and now I'm changing the positioning. That's completely very, very narrow view of how even you think about positioning. Also, for a bigger firm, we see a lack of cross-functional involvement between market, product, and sales team. Maybe somewhere alone in the market research department or marketing department, people are creating positions and value propositions. But if you lack this cross-functional involvement of team, then you're not going to get the right picture. You're not going to get the interlinkages between them. You might be ignoring the competitive landscape. You might be overlooking the customer perspective. Other mistake can be you're attempting to create a new category prematurely. This is very often with the case with the AI tools or with the new startups. They start positioning themselves to creating a new product category or a new category that customers are not aware of, and suddenly they are distancing themselves. They in that sense, this can lead to customer confusion, because if the market isn't ready for it, or if the product doesn't truly warrants a new category that it should kind of sit in or segment, then it's also a very difficult exercise. Ignoring how the market is changing, evolving, underestimating the importance of positioning, and failing to revisit and updating the positioning. So positioning is not one time exercise. It's a dynamic, it's agile, it needs continuous interaction, feedback, and I must say the content marketing, as people are experiencing is a very narrow understanding in that sense. When I combine the positioning, persona, branding, and if we see this as a one big picture, then content marketing is a very narrow output of that process. I would say when you're doing content marketing, it's your positioning. And when I say I don't mean only organic content marketing, I mean everything related to content. You're continuously positioning your brand in the market for the desired customer. So these three things need to function together in a holistic manner. Without this, I think the strategy is not working. And avoiding these mistakes involves a deliberate strategic approach to the positioning that is informed by market research, customer feedbacks, competitive analysis, and cross-functional collaboration. The challenge is how to link them together, right? That's the biggest challenge. Anything you want to add, Alma, here, or shall we move to
Um,
the next?
okay, the challenges of bringing all these things together. This is experienced by all the marketer, and previously when I did not have CrawlQ, it is actually quite difficult because I need to go out and talk to my users. I need to sometimes I pick up the phone and call, say, who are my top 4% customers, and I try to get to know them in depth. And now that I have CrawlQ, then it's much easier for me to have at least a starting point on how this top 4% actually behaves. And I apply it on my positioning, on my branding. So,
Right, great. Um, So let's move to the next, and that's where I want to say the crawl queue comes in, and you made a great bridge by already mentioning that how to identify that 4% of people that are loyal customers and how to scale them to persona, to positioning, and to branding, and where that's where crawl queue can really help you to create an enterprise level transformation. Even if you're not enterprise, medium-sized company or a smaller company, it brings a transformation. It's just not a software, it's a transformation tool, it's a transformation platform that harness the capabilities of the new evolving world of generative AI, okay, LLMs, NLP, or machine learning algorithm. But deep within that is the neuroscientific frameworks, the big data, and the predictive persona based predictive positioning based on simple input. So you just provide the tool with some simple input about what is your product, who it serves to, hypothetically, and this tool is designed to magically create predictive persona based positioning. And further, you can input this or create an interactive feedback loop with positioning, persona, branding, messaging. Again, refine your positioning, persona, branding, messaging. You keep on rotating this wheel and you create a massive amount of synergy by bringing these elements together. So that's where CrawlQ stands for, and this is the main emphasis of our platform. Let's get into some more numbers before we do that. Our RoleQ's main focus is to create an impactful persona centric positioning, and that is evident from our ambition to beat this industry benchmarks. So, be it email open rates, landing page conversion rates, video views, blog CTR, you see these multipliers. These are industry standards. If you have persona and non-persona, if you don't have persona, forget to beat these numbers or to come close to these numbers to your current performance. But if you have persona, these are the industry benchmarks, and we are here to not only beat these benchmarks but create new benchmarks with the crawl queue. So that's our starting ambition. It's very important to see where we fit ourselves into the big landscape. So we are really creating an impactful persona centric positioning and content KPIs using CrawlQ. Now, the most important core concept that I want to touch is there is an interplay. So if you start only with KPIs and you're not aware how to connect this, then you're still missing the big picture. So second element here is shift from product centric to customer centric mindset, and that's the starting point where you really shift your strategy. And once this happens, that you shift from product or service focused mindset to customer centric mindset, then things start getting changed. So this concept is really vital. And there is an interplay of mindset, vision and ambition. On a high level, we our goal on this webinar is not to really go on the deep level on this idea, but on a high level, you see that you as a person or collection of person who make the team for a company, you create a meta mindset, and that meta mindset consists of your brand's passion, your brand's vision. Vision can be then or other, again we can break down the vision into the direction that you take or the destination that your brand will take. So on the core is the passion as a meta mindset, then your mission, your vision, your ambition, and your role in the market. This meta mindset pretty much help us to define the core positioning, big picture. And once we know that core positioning meta mindset, then we have certain set of tools to assess macro mindset and micro mindset associated with the customer centric focus. So this is a subject of altogether another webinar I need to cover in my in next subsequent webinars. But these two concepts are quite interconnected. You must start thinking about positioning yourself in terms of those KPIs. So when you start positioning persona and branding and see them in holistic picture, you should be able to start understanding from this persona centric positioning and content KPIs. Once you understand that, the second important element is how to shift from product centric to the customer centric mindset. And these two elements, one is more quantitative aspect of it and other is more qualitative aspect of it, when combined together makes the central synergy and the backbone of this CrawlQ platform. So with this two foundation and how we go into how we link them, why we do that, this is another area that we will go into our subsequent webinars. But I think I want to open up this webinar with these two important foundations. Anything you want to add, Alma, before I jump into next and the demo?
No, 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 nothing I have to add. I want to add.
Okay, so before I jump into demo, I want to remind everyone who is watching this webinar, they can jump on our plan based on their needs. We are running an exclusive 40% off for this webinar. Either you're watching right now or you're watching later. Also, I'm starting a new offer today, and I'm glad and I'm very excited to start this and combine this whole idea. I'm taking a personal one-to-one or sessions with Robert Dilts. I don't know if many of you are aware. Robert Dilts is an international mindset map coach. He's a renowned neuroscientist. He has written dozens of books about neurolinguistic programming. He's a well-known personality in the field of neuroscience, uh, neurolinguistic programming, and how to apply that mindset shift. So I have personally gone through these sessions. Happy to share some of my video clips with Robert, where he's taking me to different stages of the coaching session. And I found this gap that many time when people start using either these kind of tools to define their persona or positioning, they're still stuck. They don't know where to start. And the key reason that they don't know where to start is that they don't have clarity about this mindset shift. Most of the people are only aware there's a fixed mindset, there's a growth mindset, but then there is much more within that growth mindset. There are five different types of mindsets. I explained on the meta level. We have passion, vision, mission, role, and we have our micro mindset, and then we have a micro mindset associated with that. And in this dedicated to our one-to-one conversation with you, I'm going to apply all the coaching principles, all the mindset principles, success factor modeling that Robert Dilt has designed. And I will then help you to incorporate these findings into the persona branding and using CrawlQ. That's the beauty of it. So I combine the two interesting words, AI word and neuroscience word. That's a top class framework that I see now, which combining them together, and then I can help you to discover your starting point, true passion that lies within you, the vision associated with this, the mission, the role that you will play in the market. On this one-to-one session, we will go through a discovery or a, let's say, transformation journey where this unclarity about where to start is the main focus. And that's, I think, also a foundation when I addressed that people are struggling in terms of positioning themselves, and they don't know where to start. And this where not to start comes from that they are not themselves clear about what drives them, what they love to do, what is their passion. And when they see in terms of their product, market, brand, how to translate their inner passion to the product, brand, market. And then once they have it, how to build a macro and micro mindset to sustain that. Because first, it is very difficult to find a clarity where your passion lies and how you are going to translate it with your product, market, and the entire goal. But there's another challenge. Once you identify that spark, it's very difficult to sustain it. So that's where we are going to go into macro mindset and micro mindset, those success habits that really help you and anchor the mindset aspects. And the beauty of this idea is that we are going to combine this with CrawlQ's persona, dynamic persona, and positioning creation tool together with this coaching steps, and that's going to create a powerful combination of most human powered, some subconscious mind powered AI outcomes. So this is my new offer, and I'm really excited about it. So uh, I think I wanted to play this clip with Robert Dilt, but I think that will be too much for this webinar. So let's go to the next one. In our previous webinar, uh, I'm sure if people are following us, we have identified there are three clear steps that you input to our tool. What is your product name? Your best guess who you are targeting, topics of interest to your market. And once these three inputs are done, then our tool is designed to create predictively and magically and all these information going inside. And this most human powered conversational interface where you can edit, like, dislike, tweak, and continuously interact with the output to refine it. And that's where one-to-one session coaching guidance will also come into interplay, where we are going to refine it continuously. And once you have this platform or conversational interface, then you're ready to scale the content creation. So I'm not going into the detailed aspect of it. In the previous webinar, we people can watch our previous webinar, where they can go into detail how we have different LLMs. And by the way, we are also introducing, we are testing the yesterday's OpenAI's model, that is GPT-4 Omni. That is great. I have already tested it, and we are including this into our suite of these AI LLMs, Cloud A, latest Cloud A model, Gemini, DALE, and GPT-4's latest model. So we are combining and democratizing the AI in a single interface, single thread. That's key to remember. We have ability to integrate with multiple data sources, be it just databases, but also different marketing and business apps. Once we have the conversational platform, it's create kind of two-way feedback loop. And the key here is we are different from rest of the market to even generic chat gpt, because we are following a two-way retrieval augmentation generation. What does it mean in simple words? That on our platform, when user interact with the platform, ask simple questions, we already predict the next move, the next question, the next interest of the user. We anticipate using machine learning models, and we draw the context in advance beforehand. So that make our platform very powerful in terms of intuitive guidance to create the content, because we are doing very advanced level of context filtering. We are doing in context learning plus fine tune model. So it's the only tool where these two dimensions of the most latest machine learning or generative AI techniques are applied together, fine tune plus in context learning. And this doesn't make it 1 plus 1 to 2, but it, when combined together, it creates a completely new way of seeing this outputs. And the good thing is, whatever improvements happen on top of it with cloud A, with open AI, this is going to help us more and more, because we have designed the system in a way that more the capability of the models improve, better our platform will get. When chat gpt will only improve by, let's say, a scale of 2, we are going to improve by a scale of 15, by just improvement in the model's capability itself. So our underlying design is such a way that when these models are getting improved, our scale of improvement will be much higher. uh, the way we are defining our architecture of using the neuroscientific framework, the two-way context learning, and the fine-tuned learning. So again, I'm always excited to go deeper with those ideas and explain. But Elma already started in the beginning that we have accelerated market research use case, insight discovery. You can create white papers, report, content creation, team augmentation, and recently we have introduced AI assistants as army of assistant. These assistants help you to build the continuity, to create customizations with reference to different data sources. There are bunch of data source you can provide. You have full control. You can do coding, retrieval, and fine tuning. You can consistently ensure that the output quality is moving along with your thinking. So it's very intuitive. All these assistants. Today, in a brief demo, our goal is to introduce you to Polaris. Polaris is our front-running market positioning subject matter experts. What it does, it start understanding your product or service at its core. Then it assess the current positioning. Then it align it with the ideal customer profiling. Then it introduce and goes deeper with the competitive landscape, market category identification, value proposition refinement. It helps you to formulate your positioning statement. It helps you to create messaging and storytelling alignment. So all market messaging, including the personality, tone, the branding aspects. Then it helps you how to implement this strategy and how to track it. And then it address all these implementation challenge. So with that, we don't have much time to really go deeper, but I must say that I have a brief demo pulled up here. And so people who are not familiar with our platform, I want to say that these are different campaigns. You can select multiple LLMs. You can inject multiple data source. We have 1500 different ready to use templates drawn from different business framework, neuroscientific framework. You talk about it from channels like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, to growth hacking framework, to content writing framework, business idea validation. We have everything covered here. We have covered you. So there is already tested, well-defined templates. You don't need to be a prompt engineering expert, or you don't need to play with the prompt. It's a prompt-less conversational interface. You just select what you need, you press the button, but on the top of it, we have subject matter experts. There's an army of AI assistants. Think of that you are hiring a positioning expert in your team. Think of that you are hiring a quantitative analyst who is going to do the simulations of the surveys. Think of that you have in your team a sales outreach person. Think of that you have in your team a coach which can help your team to brainstorm together with you to identify what drives your team, what is the passion of the team. So we have designed these assistants to help with the core idea of identifying your target customers, help you to position your product and services, and then implement it. So this assistant army that we are building is going to help you to also connect with the different data sources and different marketing frameworks, as I said in this template, and help together to build you this this complex dimension of the continuous predictive positioning, persona, and branding. So for today, I had the idea to go through one simple product. I love the product Philips. I think everyone who is interested in male grooming know this product. It's a prestigious product of Philips. Is Philips One Blade. It's most innovative product, and I must say that I'm a little bit biased towards male grooming, but there are so many products for female grooming. So I just picked up this product, but next time we can pick up another one. And I love this product. It's a hypothetical use case for us today. So imagine that there is an most highly innovative one blade product, and it is designed for the corporate executives who are who need a completely different styling element, right? And these executive or C-suite executives is a specific segment of the market that Philips team is targeting. So of course, this product is suitable for different target segments, but I'm picking up one particular idea or aspect to it, and here I have already did the market research, so we are not going into detail. There's a huge automated market research which kind of build in automated way the persona journey. So this in this case, Richard is a 38-year-old BG CEO, and he has been struggling to find the best beard trimmer which can trim, shave, and style his beard, and he's looking for one blade trimmer solution. So we have idea who we are targeting, and this is a starting hypothetical persona that CrawlQ already created in a fully automated manner, just based on your three seed input, and not only just demographics but also semantics, psychographics, touching upon the pain points, fears, suspicions, desires, and it further extrapolate this into the middle of the funnel and bottom of the funnel. The entire customer journey is mapped at a starting point here. So armed with that, we want to go back and recalibrate the positioning. We can also do the positioning first and then persona later, but in this exercise we are kind of creating a feedback loop. So that's why I picked up this idea. um, so when it comes to using the assistant, there is assumption that I have already a predefined idea who we want to target, and then CrawlQ really helps you to activate those assistant and go deeper into the step-by-step process. I'm just switching the screen between the market research and market message, and when I say market message, it's all different kind of tools that comes together. So here our target audience is Richard, 38-year-old. He is BC with corporate strategy and vision, business development and expansion, financial decision making, leadership. He has a pain point, so lack of time for personal grooming due to busy schedule. He find it difficulty finding a versatile beard trimmer for different styles. And I'm not going to read it. It's very very nuanced persona that we are talking. So we have positioned ourselves already in a segment. You can also talk about geography, so New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, Houston, San Francisco, or in terms of customer touch points, these are high-end retail stores which are specialized in men's grooming product, online marketplaces, premium marketplaces, premium beauty and personal care selection shops, right? So we are not going to touch all these, but think of that we have persona, and here I will start activating the assistant. It's a very special assistant that is designed to further go into the market positioning. So if we are sitting in the Philips One Blade team, we are brainstorming on a new market position for our One Blade product, and that's in the new market where we are targeting C-suite executives. This is the assistant, so it's Polaris, and to use it, you activate it like that. I already activated in the previous instance. So I ask, let's start the product positioning, and it will start the step one. So at this stage, it's saying that let's understand our product. Our product is Philips One Blade, an innovative electric grooming tool designed for men who wants to trim shave. So it kind of recalibrate your understanding of the product, and then as I said, we are using two-way retrieval augmentation. So it's already asking Richard, does this overview accurately? So it's saying that does this overview of the product reflect carefully or reflect the Richard's needs and desires, or do you have additional assumptions to make? And if I say let's assume Richard is um, so we can make additional assumptions, we can give more feedback. So in this case I want to say if the Richard is tech savvy and he wants to get automated um, reminder dashboard on his grooming schedule. This is one of the hypothetical assumptions, but a team which is really working for this might have more nuanced ideas or assumptions to make. At this stage, we have invoked the assistant, we are interacting with the assistant, and we are asking it, assistant is asking interactively with us, do you agree with this product positioning? Then next step, do you want to add additional assumptions? So you can see the style of the assistant is very interactive, and it kind of connect back with the idea of the persona, the positioning, the branding, messaging element, and in the background with assistant, you can add your documents, like if a team has mission document, passion, vision, or around this product, around the company values, around the corporate culture, you can add all those details to this assistant in, because every team has that starting point, and then we can go back and recalibrate the positioning. So it says thank you for your information. It's quite helpful to know that Richard, our ideal customer, is not just looking for high quality grooming tool, but also he values tech integrations that can bring more convenience into his routine. Fantastic. With this additional detail, we can tailor the Philips One Blade positioning even further to emphasize its potential for tech integration that could, for example, offer automated reminders on a app, or a grooming schedule. So it kind of redefined and recalibrated the product's idea further. And here, since we are running out of time, I'll say let's move to the next step. And then I already showed you there are 12 different steps that this assistant is going to perform a positioning exercise, and it's quite extensive because it's not that you feed in something and it kind of create out of one click positioning. No, as an user, as an expert, you are talking to one another expert, and this expert is expert in creating positioning strategy. So and you can give it all input, like you hire a consultant and it's an expert. He's worked with Coca-Cola, with IKEA, with H&M. This expert has worked everywhere. You know how to do the positioning, and you just go and execute the steps. So assessing the current positioning, and then you can see here, if it lacks some sort of information, then it would ask you some detail. Can you describe how the Philips One blade is currently positioned in the market, or are there any common misconceptions about the Philips One blade? So you see, it kind of interactively asks you questions that a subject matter expert will come to your desk and will ask some questions. Based on that, it will go back, refine, and give a new output. So it's very interactive. And without executing all these steps, I want to remind that we started with product understanding, current position assessment. I could only come to step 2. Then we are going back again and we are doing ideal customer profiling back from end to end. We are going to check competitive landscape. Then we do our market category identification. You see, all these 11 steps will be performed by assistant, and you have the option to create a final report. So my goal was today to briefly touch upon the market positioning, how CrawlQ's army of assistants are designed to work together with you to kind of implement this feedback loop. And in this feedback loop, we are talking about um, the positioning, then the persona development, and the branding. And we have army of these assistants, ranging from the your blog creation to your outreach assistant. So you can think of, once you have your positioning, branding, messaging, we have army of assistant that will work together to create the market message. And please think of this market message also as an exercise of positioning, because this is much more nuanced, much more focused than a generic content marketing. It's not just content marketing, it's a predictive positional marketing with content, with use of AI, with insights, with the data. And it's not only about creating content, but arming you with subject matter experts, arming you with the necessary insights, arming you with the time critical trends that are going in the market, and that too along with you leveraging on your data. So unfortunately, there's a lot to say, but we always have time, which
Yeah,
is
we will cover that in the next webinar because today we do market positioning, and the next week we are going to cover another aspect of marketing and with the use of CrawlQ AI assistants as well. Okay, so there are some questions. Some of the people in our audience are actually quite new to CrawlQ and do not understand the basics of using it. So when we do the market research, we have initial seed inputs, which are the main topic of interest, the your company URL, what is your product or service, and your best estimate of your target audience. Based on this one, CrawlKey is going to do its market research, and that takes less than 5 minutes.
Mhm.
Traditionally, that would take months to do. Okay, so this is really one great aspect of it. And the next thing, the other question that was asked is, how can I create? Can I do ICP research or ideal customer profile research using CrawlQ? And yes, we have that. So after the market research is done, you can go back to your market message and start getting insights using some of our guided insights, and there is one called ideal buyer persona. Now there are questions. Okay, so let's
Let
do
me add
one by
let,
one.
let, let me add one idea to it.
Hmm.
When people say ideal buyer persona or ICP, they are
Right.
mostly interrelated terms, but
Hmm.
applied by different expert with a different understanding. But if you make a big picture approach, which I initially shared, right positioning, right persona creation, persona, ICP, these are just a tool. But the tools are
Right.
not going to be correct or correctly applied if we have wrong positioning. So positioning, persona. branding, messaging, content creation, if you see all them together, positioning is most important. You can say ICP, you can say buyer persona, and then we are going into the context of terminologies. But if your positioning is not correct, all these tools are not going to be correct as well. And CrawlQ doesn't only do persona, as I try to explain. It's a holistic marketing approach with positioning, persona, brand, messaging all together coming together. So it's your entire suite of um, market messaging and predictive positioning of your product in a continuous way in the market, and learning from it, getting feedback loop, and then improving this process. So it's not one time exercise, it's a continuous positioning using the cohesiveness that we have built around this tool on the positioning, persona, and branding. So sorry, Alma, to interject the idea,
Okay,
but
I'm just looking at some questions now. Okay, so now that we have that, the follow-up question for from Victor, like, hey, can the process be automated when it comes to creating, like making this insight? So basically, what we do is we have the market research, and then the insights is done by Athena. We get it from Athena, and she basically she's like your in-house research market insights team that is with your company, and she interprets the data for you and for you and see which can be applied for your business. So can the process be automated for different ICPs in different niches to be carried out sequentially even when the user isn't there to manually set it up?
okay, so there's a degree of automation, I would say, that our tool helps you to automate collection of the different data, put them together, create one ICP. But if you are trying to create multiple ICPs, then you need still some level of human interaction, and that's where our tool stand out, because we are not like a one-click generative AI tool. We are very comprehensive, human focused, first human focus AI, and at this stage we want to make sure that you continuously interact with AI. So we have done automation and time saving, efficiency, productivity in other areas, but we don't want to kill the human element and productivity just by pressing the button and automatically creating persona without having this clear understanding. So I must say that you can automate a part of the process, which is then help you to have less time later. But if you automate something which can create more headache for you, that's what we want to avoid. We don't want to create something which create more work for you later.
Right.
I hope you see this very clearly, these two aspect of automation.
Yes, because I agree with that. Like the way I work, even before we had AI assistants, is that I use a prompt one by one and make some changes in between. Before I don't agree, I don't really like doing like a one click blog, because what happens there is that I have a huge amount of data, a huge chunk of data to process. Like I have to read through it, see if I need to correct something and stuff like that. While if you do it on a step by step, if there is something that is not aligned with your vision on a certain step, you can further refine that particular step before it goes to the next step. And that's the
Right.
advantage of this. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So okay, so that's great. As he asked about the ICP, because with the right prompts, it should be so much easier to move from research phase to copywriting phase and nailing it so well. Okay,
Correct.
with regards to the question also earlier regarding the fully automated stuff, we actually had questions like, "Hey, can you make CrowQ faster in responding?" Because the way CrowQ, we say, "Hey, we are doing it the fastest way we could." And the reason for that is whenever you enter a prompt or a query or a question and ask CrawlQ, what it does is it takes in your prompt, it takes in from the data that you have previously provided and the data that it has learned from you, the context, the what are the right information that I can combine with this specific question before it answers. And that is very important. The reason for that is, what is the point of getting lightning fast response from AI, but you get generic outputs,
Correct.
versus you wait just a few seconds more and you get very specific output for your market, for your target, for your ICP. So this is what we mean by, so our outputs are precise, it's not generic. So that's
Right.
the point I want to make.
Right. And Victor, to automate the process, we have predefined ICP templates, and you can not even think of one or two, but in a different situations, different product service scenarios, combinations. We have even customer journeys, different breakdown of the customer journeys. So it really speed up. You just select those template, execute it, and you can now also connect it to relevant assistant who is an expert. Because I would not do a generic use of those templates. You can invoke assistant like a positioning assistant or market sizing assistant, and then because this assistant is armed with some knowledge how to carry out this execution, and using that template which is structured to answer that specific research, you can speed up your process. And obviously there is a room for us to improve, and we always seek feedback. As we move along, we might have even automated way that all these templates are getting pulled up in front of the users. So we are learning, and we are making the platform more and more user friendly when it comes to automation, but in a very careful way, that we do not take away the human aspect from the automation,
Right,
because our goal is to build human first AI.
right. And okay, towards, let me just see it here. Okay, so there is a feedback earlier from Victor about positioning, and we say that, about, is the the output, is it humanized? Does it generate long form or short form content? And it actually depends on what you want. We can generate Crawl, you can generate both long form and short form content depending on your goal. So,
Right.
and in fact, it can even not just content, it can also create strategies for you, and that's how powerful it is. It's not just content. A lot of people think that when it comes to AI, it's just content, but actually, we do in-depth analysis of your market, analyze what is your business all about, and create strategies, not just market strategies, but also business strategies. Then the content creation. That's how it comes into play. So it's like overall an all-in-one tool.
Right. That's why I mentioned in the beginning,
Mhm.
in the era of AI, content marketing is a very narrow term. I call it more predictive, agile positioning of your product and services. And this is possible because we have lightning fast speed of data and the feedback from market. And that's how we should not just call it content marketing, but we are focusing on this three dimension, then we are calling it agile positioning of our product and services.
Right. So now, a question from Interpret is about language support.
Right. This is very interesting question. Um, we have followed a approach which large enterprises follow. So large enterprises, they create content centrally in English, and then they have bespoke translation mechanism. So they then involve the markets to translate that. Suppose if you are publishing content in Hong Kong, or if you are publishing content in Japan, China, the local market will translate it and activate it. So that's a very high level. There are more layers of it, but we followed the same philosophy within CrawlQ. We do centrally everything in English, our engine, so that we have a diverse and rich source of trends, but we take users input into their language. We use an translation engine called DeepL, which is most advanced for all the European languages, including, I think, some sort of inbuilt translation from OpenAI's model, or these LLMs also working good. So both the interplay, but we use a layer which is a DeepL to translate what user is asking. Make sure that all machine learning everything happen in a rich background of English, like the big enterprise will create all the content in English. And then when it comes to serving the market, that means to the user, we again put that DeepL in between to translate back everything what user is asking. Now, so many people might misunderstand that we might lose the cultural context or things. No, the cultural context is not about the language, but the nuanced approach in that particular local market, the slangs or the specific product market
Colloquialism.
idea. Yes, yes, and that is contained in the English version, because we are defining, or we are telling to the platform in the beginning which local market I want to target. Right, so all the information we are pulling from the local market, so all the cultural context, all the segment specific, demographic specific information is preserved. But we are following the same approach, so our platform can be adopted at enterprise level very easily, and we don't need to change our approach, because enterprises who will be using or are using our product will be able to leverage from their existing mechanism. You're on mute, but I can read the question. It
Okay.
says
I
from
forgot.
Henry. Yes, we have planned to create specific functional calls within the AI assistant that we will be able to browse the web. And actually, we are waiting for some more magic to happen here, because most of these functionalities are coming from OpenAI or cloud's native capabilities. So I expect that OpenAI, Cloud, Anthropic, or any provider will have inbuilt functionality to browse the web. So don't want to create suboptimal solution and then take them away. That's what we strategic approach we followed with CrawlQ is, um, build the baseline with the best possible tools and solution. And if there is a room that this will be replaced by in higher capability, let's not build it and wait for it. And this is really helping us to build the core of the platform, because many of our competitors are building capabilities which OpenAI is building, and then suddenly they need to go out of the business because this is replaced by OpenAI's capability. So this is some careful approach that we are following, and hopefully this will give the long-term results to community.
Okay, so thanks so much for the question, Henry. Okay, so no more questions for now. I believe we answered most of the questions. So just a reminder that for anyone watching our webinar today, we have a 40% off valid until 31st of May 2024. Discount code is CrawlQ webinar 40, and you can start your free trial at crawlq.app 7-day free trial. So that's all for today. And next week, see you again. And we are going to move to or we're going to discuss another aspect of marketing, and we will let you know later in the week. So thank you. Good evening, everyone, and bye bye. Thanks, Harish.
Goodbye. Thank you, Alma. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye bye.